Hi, I'm John. I'm going to review the Amok Hammock. It's a Norwegian company. There's the box, has a picture of the hammock on it. So let's get it out and take a look at it. Alright, it's not too big, not too heavy. I think between the hammock, the fly, stakes, it's about 72 ounces. This hammock has three different tie downs if you want to tie it to the outside of your pack. A handle here. And let's take a look at the fly. Alright, this is the bag for the fly. So we're going to go ahead and set this up and give it a try. Alright, for today, just for the video, I'm going to set mine up on these trees here. My log poles. These are about 11 feet across. The minimum distance is about 9 feet. Okay, when setting up the hammock, you want to make sure that the carabiners that go around the tree, you have a green one and a red one. The red carabiner will go on your left, and the right will be your green carabiner. And that just shows you the direction you'll be facing. So, nice thing too is this bag stays attached to your support system so it doesn't touch the ground. Your hammock never has to touch the ground when you're setting it up or even taking it down. Alright. Here's the green one. You can see how it's just all supported right here. Doesn't ever really have to touch the ground. You want to make sure when you're hanging your hammock that your carabiner clip is facing upward. So this little spring-loaded clip has to be on the top side, not the bottom side. Also, you want to make sure that your webbing is coming through. You don't want it down here. You don't want the weight of the hammock on the clip itself. The clip is just to basically hold it on the tree, and the tree does all the bearing of the weight. So you just make sure you have it pointing toward the side. You don't want to have it. You don't want it like that. See, that's absolutely wrong. Now you're actually most of the weight you're pulling right off your clip, and that's not what the clip was rated for. So you want it over where it just comes through the clip over to your hammock. Alright, once you have your straps around the trees, pull it out of the bag, and then you just pull these straps, which are on cinch buckles, to tighten it up. Alright, in order to set the pad in here, you have a pocket right here. It's a zippered pocket. We'll go ahead and put the mattress in here. It's a little bit of a chore to get it in. And the one thing I'd be very careful of, at $130 for this big Agnes, you have a zipper here. You want to be really careful that you're not popping or putting a hole in your brand new pad. Just kind of be aware of that zipper. A little bit of a chore. Kind of find that instead of trying to just shove it all in, you kind of gather it from in here and just kind of pull up on it. It seems to go in a little easier that way. Also, at the end, there's a little pocket you can reach up in there and pull if you need to. I'm using a 25-inch Big Agnes. I tried the 20-inch. It just didn't make the hammock feel right. I think 25 inches is it's really designed for the 25 inches, but this is only a 72-inch long air mattress, and it's perfect for me. I'm 5'8". If you're taller than me, you might need to go with a 77-inch pad, but the smaller one works good for me. Also, like on the Big Agnes, you have your little valves here. The nice thing about these valves, it's a one-way valve. When you blow it up, it doesn't let air back out. But once it's fully full, at night when you're sleeping, if you need to have a little more, air cushion in there, you can push the button here and just adjust the density of the air. Now we're going to finish putting this pad inside here. Inside the hammock, you have two pockets. You have a large pocket for the 77-inch pad. You also have a smaller pocket here further in for the 72-inch pad, which I have. You want to make sure you stuff it into the right pocket there. That'll help give it the support it needs. Then you can zip it up. Now, when I was talking about the valve on here, on this Big Agnes, the nice thing about this valve at night, if you need to let some air out, if you need to put some air in, you just unzip this while you're sleeping in here. You don't have to get out of the hammock. You can just reach over, take this little valve here, open it, release a little air, or blow some air into it. Now, if you had the other type of valve that sticks out down in here on the very, very end, it's going to be a little more difficult to do because there's so much pressure in here. So I don't know if that valve will get in the way of the hammock or if it'll fold over. I've never had that kind, but it might make it a little more difficult to try to get in there and access that valve. Once we have it in there, we'll zip it up. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take this shock cord, which is on the very back end, and you're going to want to stake this down to the ground. That'll pull this head area away from your head. When the bug netting's closed in on this, it won't sit on you. It'll be pulled away. Makes it a little nicer. Okay, to get into this thing, it's pretty easy. It takes a little bit of practice. Once after a few times, you get the hang of it. On Amok's website, they recommend you just take your hammock, put your hand down here. You want to fold this in half. You have two pockets up here, two gray pockets. So you want to fold it just about midway of the pockets, or just a little bit less than the pockets to the top there. No, you got to hold it. Be real careful. It's really easy to all of a sudden get away from it. It'll shoot up like that. So anyways, I'll take it, fold it here. And I kind of tuck the little extra footing material. I'll stick that under there so I'm not sitting on that when I get in. Basically, you want to just commit right away. Get in and plant your bottom behind here, and then raise your feet up and let that pop in. They say you can hang on to this thing too, your ridge line. It's pretty strong, but I don't need to do that. Sitting like this. Right there. And I tell you, this is one of the most comfortable hammocks I've ever been in. My first hammock, the reason I got this hammock is I had a Hennessy hammock. Beautiful hammock. The construction of that hammock was just as good as they come. Love that hammock. Only problem is I never slept a single night all night long in that particular hammock, or any hammock that lays the same way as the trees. Those particular hammocks, you kind of lay a little bit of an angle in those hammocks. Try to lay flat, but I found out that I roll on my side every night in my bed. I'll sleep on my side, left side, right side, my belly, and I wake up on my back. In the traditional hammocks, you're on your back. You might lay out a little bit on one side. The beauty of this hammock is you can lay side to side. You can pull your knees up. You can lay on your belly. I'll show you I'll demonstrate that to you. And I've slept in this thing, and it is so comfortable. Like right now, if I want to lay on my side, just like that. I mean, it's not even an effort. I can lay on my belly. On my other side, a lot of times I like to pull my feet in too, like a fetal position. And it's just so nice. This hammock, you think that the way it's balanced, that maybe you would, fall up to the back or fall to the front. I haven't done that yet. I've tried. I'll show you. I'll lean back pretty far. See? I mean, you just don't. You can sit up in this hammock. When you have the fly in here, it's hard to sit up in there, but you can sit up in this hammock. When you have the bug net up, it's a little tight in here with the bug net for sitting up here. But I recently went on a overnighter and it was pouring down rain. I have the fly up. I can just take the bug netting out, I sit up in here, and I'm good to go. We'll demonstrate the bug net now. The bug net's really nice. It's inside this little pocket. You unclip it, pull out this little netting here. I always kind of will zip it halfway. And then you have a carabiner, little clip here. Clip that on, and then you just finish up closing it. There you go. Very roomy in here. Very nice. And then you can leave your carabiner up. Keep this out of the way. They say you should not hang it like that. You're going to get in and out, but I'll just kind of stuff it up in there just so it's ready to go. Getting out of the hammock's pretty easy. Just get right out. Now another way of getting in is without folding it. It's pretty simple by just going on like that, sitting back as far as you can, and you're in. Really easy. I kind of have mine set up to where these straps here will adjust your feet up or down. Back straps here will raise your head and up or down. I keep these all the way up. I have these pulled down just about 4 or 5 inches down, and just depending on where I shift my body, I can get it perfectly flat. I like to keep my head really close to the top of the mat, and that'll flatten me out with these settings here. Right about there. You can fold this up more in a reclining position by grabbing these. In order to pull these out, you want to take the pressure off the area where your back's going to be. And then kind of adjust yourself. Just tend to slide down to the front. Now you're sitting around camp. This is comfortable. This is so nice. It is really relaxing. I like the forward motion. It reminds me of a rocking chair. It's very comfortable. Another thing you can do is, when I had it rain that night, well, backpacking, I sat here like this. This is like a little shelf down here. I can do all my cooking right here. I ate my whole breakfast in the morning. Didn't have to get out like you might have to in a tent. Sometimes it's a little hard to cook in those little vegetables. But I really enjoyed it. It was really nice. All right, I can do a little close up here. You have this pocket here. Pretty decent size. I have like an iPad fits right in there real nicely. Over on the other side, you also have another pocket. And up here you have the infamous bottle holder for your beverages, or a cell phone or keys, whatever. With this particular pad, with the Big Agnes insulated core, this pad is rated at 15 degrees, which is roughly an R5 value. I was so hot that night, I started taking layers off of clothes. Well, it's nice. You can just stuff them right up in here. Each side, you got all these areas. You can just stuff extra pieces of your clothing, and it just makes it really nice and very convenient. Okay, when you need to release these straps, lower them down, you got to take the pressure off. So this is my back. So what I have to do for my back is I have to lean forward, just get the pressure off, and that way they just fold right. They go right up. There's the bug netting up, so I want to pull it out of there. Move the center of the bug netting above me, and then just pull this up. And then you got all your inside cords for pulling. You also have the outside cords for pulling. Makes it nice and convenient. So start. And zip it all the way around you. All right, here I am inside. Actually nice and fairly roomy in here. It's nice. Now you can take that shock cord that goes up to the ridge line. You have a cam here. You can pull the cam and release it and lower your netting down, or you can pull the ridge line, or you can pull the shock cord back up to the cam. And what I have in mind, well, first of all, this carabiner comes with the hammock. Now I purchased this little light, a nice lamp. Tuck it on. Provides plenty of illumination for at night right in here. It's great. That's just perfect. When I store my hammock, I leave this on here. I never take it off. I just keep that on there, close it up into the pocket up inside there, and leave it there. So I always have this nice little lamp. It's not very big, as you can see. It's really pretty small, but boy, it lights up really nice in here. You have this little white plastic in here which diffuses the light very nicely, distributes it very nicely through. I can adjust the tilt back and forth through the straps on either side for my feet or my back. I keep the ones on my feet, you know, about, like I say, about 4 or 5 inches out. You see, like that. And then I keep the upper ones real short, just for laying flat. And you know, if I'm scoot myself a little more forward, I'm sitting up a little higher. If I want my head more level, I'll just scoot right up toward the top of this pad, and it just keeps it nice and level. And you know, you can never tip up like that. It just doesn't happen. It keeps it shaped really nicely inside this tent or hammock. All right, now I'm going to show you what to do with your backpack. A lot of people wonder, well, what do you do with your backpack? You know, you don't want to lay it on the ground. I don't like mine on the ground. You got all the little critters that are on the ground. I like to keep mine hung, and I'll show you. This is really cool. We're going to take our pack. This one right here, I got about 20 pounds worth of gear in there. You know, I've had packs up toward 27, closer to 30 pounds, and did the same thing with my Hennessy hammock. But this is a great way to keep your pack off the ground and keep it dry. So what you want to do is you want a carabiner. This is a little small. I have a large one. I just couldn't find it, but for the video we'll use this one here. I like a little larger carabiner. So put that on your wherever you can hook onto your backpack. All right, then you come over to your hammock, either side, doesn't matter where. All right, you just come over to your line, take your carabiner, clip it on. Just hang your bag. Just hang your pack right on your on the line there. You know, this hammock is rated for about pounds, so a little bit of weight here is not going to harm it. And now it might cause it to weigh a little bit more that way. Very simple. All you gotta do is pull more line. You know, pull the slack up this way, just compensate for the extra weight. There you go. So it's, you know, just make a little adjustment for the extra weight here. But anyways, your pack will stay here, stay nice and dry under your fly. One thing you can do is you can take your rain pouch that goes over your pack and stick that over your pack at night. But your pack stays nice and dry off the ground and critters stay off of there, and doesn't affect your hammock in any way. I live up in the Pacific Northwest, where in the fall and spring you can still get fairly cold temperatures at night, down in the 30s. And traditional hammocks have a hammock sock you can place over your entire hammock, and they say that it'll give you about 10 more degrees of warmth. So I decided this doesn't have something like that. So I came up with my own little system that I've used on about a 35-degree night, and it definitely warmed up inside the hammock. And some little modification you can do. So we'll open up we'll close the bug fly in here. Okay, last thing I have to do is clip this on. Well, what I've done is I've had an old, cheap, small little tent. And the fly that goes over the tent, I took that fly and I cut a little hole in the top of that fly, and I'll go grab it. All right, it doesn't make your beautiful hammock look any better, but it's really effective. So I have this simple little dome-shaped, you know, circular old rain fly from this is from Cascades Trail tent. And let me locate the hole. Okay, so I'll take the carabiner off. Stick this up through the hole. Okay, so I just found the hole. So I'll take the shock cord, put it back up over that. And you know, this particular one has little clips so I can clip it, but there's no need for that. This thing will just stay. There you go. Now it closes this in. Now you don't want it fully closed in because then the moisture from the air, the condensation will come back on you. So you want a little bit of venting. Well, where my head end is, there's a little bit, it doesn't come all the way up there. So I have area for venting. So it's keeping my body heat in, because heat rises. So it just will warm this up a lot more. It's really effective and real nice. What I like to do though, when I get to camp, I'll set this up, and before I climb in there, I'll leave this all hooked up. So let's unzip it. Pull it sort of the side, and then what I like to do is keep that over there. Just gather all this up, stuff it in the pocket. Now it's all ready to go. So when I'm going to get in here, it's real importantly that your bug net isn't out, because you could rip that right out. But as long as it's pushed in there, keep the clip up there, you're good. Now I'm going to go ahead and get in here, and I'll close this up. I'll show you how easy it is to work that extra fly up on top of here. Take off my shoes. Okay, pull it out. And then I kind of work it now. I kind of get it in place a little bit, like this, before I zip it all the way up. Doesn't have to look perfect, it's just enough to keep it warm in here. I can work it a little bit more with my hand before I close it all the way up. There you go. Okay, I'm inside now. As you can see, it's covering up over the whole bug net on the outside. I want to get up to the top here. You can see I just have a little ways, a little bit of room here, so I can breathe out near the top of my head without causing without causing any condensation. And it won't get too stuffy in here, but it will definitely warm this whole area up in here. I wouldn't doubt if it's 10 degrees like they say. It doesn't look pretty. Maybe one day they'll come out with something like this within the right color for your own hammock. But you can see up the top of my head here, I still have all the open area, so when I breathe, this will allow my moisture to escape. But my body heat will come up in here and just keep this nice and toasty here, and it works. Yeah. So I'm up here right now, as you can see, and I'm just breathing fine. And the nice thing is you can open this up and adjust this out. Pull some of this out of the way if you want a little bit more room, but it really works well. Okay, the fly that comes with this, it's pretty nice. The bag stays on the suspension line, so you can hang it up and then take it back down without any of this touching the ground. Nice thing about this rain fly is, just like the hammock here, you have a green carabiner and a red carabiner. So correspondingly, put the green with the green, the red with the red. The one thing I'd say about this rain fly is I was hanging mine up. Well, this clip can easily pop right off, whereas on the hammock, it's permanently fixed to the hammock, so you can't lose those. It's easy to lose these, so when putting it around a tree, be really careful that doesn't pop off. So anyways, we'll hang the green over there, and because I'm on my porch, we're probably not going to get a very good, we're not going to be staking it down, but I'll just kind of give you a quick demonstration of this Amox fly. All these stake lines here, they're all reflective material. So at night, when you're, with your headlamp, they light up really nicely. It's kind of nice. You have these little Velcro straps here, so your lines can stay nice and cleaned up when you're in storage. newer model. This is the 2016 model. And they add these extra little areas. They're kind of like little doors. Just, you know, they kind of close in on the side a little bit more. I'm going to just tie that down to something here. Okay, so that just kind of gives you a little idea what it's going to look like. Like I said before, when you stick these down, instead you don't pull them. You can pull it straight out, but you can, once it's all done right, you can pull it down at an angle, and that way it just kind of closes in on the ends. And another nice feature is you have this nice little case for your stakes. So it's a little Velcro strap. They have their logo in here. It's a little like 90 degree, a little very lightweight. The nice thing about these are, I don't know if you can see, let me get in front of the camera here. They have those little cutouts here. And that's where your lines will just kind of go right over that. So what you want to do is just take your line out of the Velcro, and it comes just like that. Now you can stretch it out, hang it over those two little cutouts and anchor it, or what you can do is they have this an adjustment on here. You take your line and you pull through itself. Now it's a loop. So you get your stake right around those little notches, anchor it down, and then you can just tighten it back up here. Just pull it back up, and it'll add the strength that you need for your tarp. So it's a real nice feature that they added to this. Okay, once inside your hammock, when you hung the rain fly, if you did it right with the corresponding green to green and red to red carabiners, you'll know you done it right when you look up, and this is. Stay hungry, stay foolish, stay wild. Amok. Okay, now to get your hammock torn down, pretty simple. I'm going to undo your Velcro. Now you have these little loops here, right on the cinch buckle. So you want to pull it inward toward the hammock, just like that. Just reel off all the, just release it, just like that. There you go. That's how easy it is to release the whole thing. Okay, so if you get to a spot where you're going to camp and there's no trees, or the trees are too small or too far apart, what you can do is you can hang your hammock on the ground. And I'll show you what I did. You're able to find a spot with nothing that can come in and poke your pad or the bottom of your hammock. Take your trekking poles, set them off to the side, and stick them in the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a couple stakes, and we're going to wrap our paracord around and stake those down. We have our trek poles up, and we have our guy lines down to the stakes. Now we're going to hook up the hammock, and you're not supporting your hammock. All you're doing is you're just getting the ridge line up high enough so your bug netting will stay off your face. You know, you're going to be sleeping on the ground, but at least you have a place to sleep. Okay, so I use my trekking poles. So I just set up my pole, stake to the ground there, and to the other side. And then I took the hammock and I set it on the ground. I didn't stretch it out too far, but I just took the carabiner and attached it to the loop handle of the trekking pole. Do the same thing to the other side there. Now you want to make sure you don't raise it up off the ground when you do that. So you need to just make it snug enough. But then to make your, this little ridge line a little more taut, I just took the extra strapping, wrapped it around a couple times, brought it back up here, just wrapped it around. So when my bug netting is all the way around and connected, it should help to keep it off my face. Also, the back part of the head area, I just ran a stake over to the end to keep it away. So I'm going to climb in and see how this works. Okay, there you go, got the bug netting up. It's not real high up off the face, but it's going to keep you comfortable tonight. It takes some tweaking with your poles, adjusting, everything. I should be able to get that a little higher. I'm going to climb in and take a look. Now I'm in the hammock with the, it's on the ground here. Got the comfort of the pad, so that's nice. The bug netting is a little on the low side, so I might want to fine tune that ridge line. If I can get that ridge line up, that'll hold up this bug netting a little higher. But it doesn't really matter if you need a place to sleep. If you can sleep with that bug netting down, that's fine. Okay, here we go. I didn't stake down the two ends. you know, just for demonstration to show you that it can be done. If you have to sleep on the ground, you know, I can adjust my trekking poles to lower down the hammock at night, get a little closer, the tarp down. Like I said, I can take those little side doors and pull them down and stake those down on each end to kind of close it in too. But yeah, there you go. If I had to sleep on the ground, it'd be like a tent. One of my overall thoughts is so comfortable, much more comfortable than traditional hammocks. I believe it's even so much more comfortable than my tent. I used to have a beautiful small little REI Passage 1. I loved it. Great tent, but this, you just can't beat this. I think just all the way around, this is just a better setup for me anyways. Like I say, there's no trees, and they're too small. You can always set it up on the ground. It takes a bigger footprint than a traditional tent. But I found I can actually change my clothes in here if I need to. So, you know, in a tent, you might have a little more room to change, but it's not that difficult to change in here. Like I say, you can sit up in this hammock. I just like being off the ground. The cost, it's definitely more than your traditional tents. This is very expensive, and the weight is an issue also. But my theory behind that is, after a long day of hiking, the most important thing for me is getting a good night's rest. And in the lighter systems that I've had on the ground or other hammocks, I wasn't able to sleep as good or as comfortably as I can in something like this. So the weight for me is not as much of an issue. I'll take a little bit extra weight in my quality hammock like this. I can always find room in my pack that I can maybe lessen up the weight with something else I don't need. The build construction is just phenomenal. This is just, you know, all the stitching, the webbing, the netting, everything about it just seems to be top quality and well thought out. I know it comes in several other colors. I prefer this. I like the orange. I think it looks really good. So, you know, as for me, I'm happy. I love it. I love the most rocking motion it gives. I like the adjustability. I like to turn it into a chair or recliner at camp. If it's raining out, you get your tarp over you and you can kind of sit up and do all your cooking like you're sitting up in a chair. So I'm really happy with that, and this is my review on my thoughts. All right. Like Amok says, stay hungry, stay foolish, and stay wild.